Should countries be allowed to rent out big cats to other nations for breeding? This practice has existed for decades. Zoos and conservation programs often exchange animals. The goal is to maintain genetic diversity in captive populations. But should this extend to international agreements? Some argue that lending big cats benefits conservation. Others see ethical concerns and commercial exploitation. Giant pandas are the most famous example of animal rental. China lends pandas to zoos worldwide. In return, they receive financial contributions to conservation efforts. The practice generates revenue and supports research. But does it truly benefit the animals involved? Breeding programs aim to increase population numbers. However, some big cats struggle to reproduce in captivity. Tigers, lions, leopards, cheetahs and jaguars all have unique breeding challenges. Some species require large territories to feel secure enough to mate. Others need specific environmental conditions. Relocation can cause stress and disrupt social structures. Some experts question whether forced breeding is ethical. Genetic diversity is a key argument for lending big cats. Small captive populations risk inbreeding. Exchanging animals between institutions reduces this risk. Scientists track lineages and select mates carefully, but transportation and adaptation present risks. Animals may take months or years to adjust to new environments. Some never fully adapt. Stress from relocation can weaken immune systems. This increases the risk of disease outbreaks. Moving animals also exposes them to unfamiliar pathogens. Some big cats, like cheetahs, have extremely limited genetic diversity. This makes them more susceptible to disease. Introducing new bloodlines is crucial for survival. However, the risks involved cannot be ignored. Not all breeding programs focus on conservation. Some prioritize tourism and revenue. Private zoos and attractions often seek rare big cats. White tigers and ligers are often bred for their novelty. They are not natural species but are popular among visitors. This raises ethical concerns. Are animals being treated as conservation tools or commodities? Lending agreements should prioritize conservation science. They should not serve as financial transactions. Some countries enforce strict breeding regulations. Others lack oversight, leading to abuse and neglect. Breeding big cats for entertainment is a growing problem. It distracts from genuine conservation efforts. There is also concern about the fate of cubs born through these programs. Are they released into the wild? Or are they kept in captivity for profit? Successful reintroduction programs are rare. Most big cats bred in captivity remain in zoos or sanctuaries. Wild environments present challenges for captive-bred animals. They lack survival skills needed for hunting and territory defense. Cheetahs raised in captivity, for example, often struggle to hunt when released. Lions bred in zoos lack the social skills needed to integrate into wild prides. Tigers need vast territories that are often unavailable. Some experts argue that resources should focus on habitat protection. Saving wild populations may be more effective than breeding in captivity. Without sufficient protected land, captive breeding may be pointless. The legal framework for lending big cats varies. Some countries sign agreements under conservation treaties. Others operate with limited regulation. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, CITES, oversees animal trade. However, enforcement is inconsistent. Illegal wildlife trade sometimes hides behind legal exchanges. There have been cases of animals disappearing after being transferred. This raises concerns about accountability. Proper monitoring is essential to prevent exploitation. Some programs claim to support conservation while profiting from cub petting. Many lion cubs used for tourist attractions later end up in canned hunting facilities. Transparency in lending programs is crucial. There are alternatives to lending live animals. Artificial insemination has advanced in recent years. Scientists can transfer genetic material without moving animals. This reduces stress and health risks. However, success rates vary. Some species have lower reproductive success with artificial methods. More research is needed to improve this technology. If perfected, it could eliminate the need for physical transfers. Cloning is another controversial option. Some researchers suggest using cloning to preserve genetic diversity. However, cloned animals may face health issues. Natural breeding remains the preferred method. Cultural and diplomatic factors also influence this debate. Some countries use animal lending as a form of soft power. Lending agreements strengthen diplomatic ties. They encourage collaboration on conservation projects. However, they also create dependency. Nations receiving animals may feel obligated to comply with donor countries. This raises ethical concerns. Conservation should not be a political bargaining tool. It should focus solely on protecting species. Big cats should not become diplomatic pawns. Their survival should be the priority. Public perception plays a role in shaping policy. Many people view zoos as essential for conservation. Others see them as prisons for wild animals. Transparency is key. If lending agreements exist, they must serve clear conservation goals. Strict regulations should ensure animal welfare. Without these protections, lending programs risk becoming commercial deals. The exploitation of big cats for profit remains a serious issue. Conservation should always take precedence over entertainment. Should countries rent out big cats for breeding? The answer is complex. There are valid arguments on both sides. Conservation must be the priority. Programs should not exploit animals for financial gain. Ethical concerns should be addressed with strict oversight. Transparency, research, and alternative methods should guide future decisions. The future of big cats depends on responsible conservation, not financial transactions. Protecting natural habitats should be the primary goal. If breeding programs continue, they must be strictly regulated. The survival of big cats depends on the choices made today.